Yeah, my,
And
my main concern is just to help
yeah,
regular Christians live faithfully and not be subject to influence and manipulation uh, and pressure to
yeah,
conform to this world.
yeah. And I think drawing from the life of Anthony is certainly one help in that battle. As we, need to look back to our historical resources, to the saints and what they've done and how they lived in their times. Anyways, we need to do that more often because we also, I think, need to be worrying about our connection to history, right? Because that's also getting warped and warped as
Yeah, and I
well.
think as Protestants, we don't need to be uh, we don't need to we shouldn't assume that Anthony belongs to the Catholics or the Orthodox.
Right.
They're ours. So up until the Reformation, we were all on the same team in the West, and then until the Great Schism, East and West, we were all on this part of the same sort of body. And even today, we ought to be able to recognize our brothers and sisters in those communions. Not that everybody in those communions is in a good place, just like not everybody in the Protestant world is in a good place. But I can say Anthony is a part of my church history. He's a resource that I can draw on. He doesn't belong to the Catholics. He doesn't belong to the
Right.
Orthodox. He's part of my church history too.
As much as they might try and tell us that they do. No, I love being at the I love that on a person. I love the Touchstone conferences because you got so many people. All of us. I grew up Catholic and became
Right,
evangelical at the age of 34. So everybody at that conference has one leap over at least
right,
one
right.
leap into a one from one tradition into another. But we're all on the same page in our allegiance to Christ. That's for sure. Yeah, it's a great. I'm looking forward to reading more on it. It's a good project. We got to keep people aware of this and build a greater awareness. I think, I wrote an article in for the last edition of Touchstone where I always say like wokeism, as far as I'm concerned, is already dying out. I mean, there'll be various forms of that kind of thinking in this, but we've been
Yeah,
talking to enough
I
people
saw it.
recently where
I'm one of the senior editors.
yeah, I know. Okay. I don't know who exactly sees each
Well, we all
article.
do. We
Oh,
all
you
do.
all do. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
all the senior
all right.
editors review everything.
Okay. Well, it got
So,
in there.
but
So I guess
yeah,
all right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You passed muster. Yep.
Yeah. Which is hard. It's a good standard. It's a high standard for me. If I get it in past you guys, I know I've done something. The Lord has allowed me to do something well. But, the other thing that it's like, because you mentioned earlier, like how you were when you were in Cambridge and you're seeing the writing on the wall and trying to warn people. But the prophets I'm not saying you're a prophet in the sense of, but
Sure.
we do see this in the prophets. They're warning, they know what's coming.
Right.
But we have to understand that God allows things and that is
Well,
still
that's true
within
too.
the
Right.
realm of his permissive will. And I've started to think it was Francis Schaeffer's who I read in one of Schaeffer's books. I've read several, so I can't remember exactly where this is, but where he kind of makes this point that the church or theology, but the church is sort of always the last to figure out what the heck is going on in the world. And I
Right.
started to think about that spiritually. Maybe there's a theological reason for that because God doesn't want us to have everything battened down and prepared, mentally and everything for intellectually for what's going to come. There's a period that we're supposed to go through as the church, periods of discomfort, because this is the time then for us to really just rely on the promises of God, on his providence, and on his good nature and grace, so that, we don't think, oh yeah, we got this all figured out. Here's AI, it's coming at us and we know exactly what to do. No problem. So, I mean, again, it's still just resting in the grace of God and being faithful witnesses in spite of, come hell or high water. And that will come. We don't want to say it won't, because it does. in human history, obviously. And this is, in that sense, nothing new.
Right.
Things do fall apart every once in a
Right.
while.